Hello, everybody, and welcome to At the Movies with Dante and Louis. I'm Louis Jacobs.
And I'm Dante DeLille.
Yes, he is. And today, because it's June Pride Month, once again, we're going to look at a film sort of in that regard. This one is a 2018 Netflix release called The Perfection, and it is directed by Richard Shepard, and it's a beautifully drawn, poetic, international love story between two women. And actually, no, it's none of that. So Dante, would you like to start with your synopsis?
Yep, so the IMDb synopsis is: when a troubled musical prodigy, Charlotte, seeks out Elizabeth, the new star pupil of her former school, the encounter sends both musicians down a sinister path with shocking consequences.
Yeah, shocking is a good word for that. So, yeah, we've got the ex-prodigy who left her training at the Back-Off Music Academy because her mother had a stroke and fell ill, so she was forced to sort of leave her career path and go home to care for her mother. And meanwhile, you have this Lizzie person who's sort of taken over that sort of prodigy cello. They play the cello. And so both women are in Shanghai for a competition which will determine the next girl prodigy who will go to Boston to this academy, music academy. Talk about the cast, Dante. We've got Allison Williams.
She was a main cast member on Girls from 2012 to 2017. I think it was like 6 seasons of that. I think that's what she's most known for. She was also in the Mindy Project in 2013. She had a guest role on that. She played Peter Pan in the live production TV version.
And this is a far cry from Peter Pan, let me tell you.
Yeah, I think it's closer to probably her other movie, Get Out, Jordan Peele's film from 2017.
And that's where I'm most familiar with her. Yeah. Seemingly happy, positive, peppy person in Get Out, and then we realize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a twist. There's something else to the character. Yeah.
Yes. And then you have Logan Browning, who plays Lizzie. She's the new prodigy star that meets up with Charlotte in Shanghai. Where we know her from?
She was in Bratz, the movie in 2007, like a adaptation of those terrible Brat dolls from the early 2000s. She was also in Tyler Perry's Meet the Browns from 2009 to 2011. Right. And she was also in the TV version of Dear White People from 2017, and it's still on.
Yeah, that's where I'm most familiar with her. So those are the girls. Yes. Basically, there are 3 characters in the whole film, and the last being Steven Weber, who plays Anton Backoff, and he runs the Backoff Music Academy in Boston, Massachusetts. Steven Weber from Single White Female.
Yeah, I totally
Steven
forgot
Weber
that.
from The Shining, and he did Nightmares and Dreamscapes and Stephen King's Desperation. So there's a history with Steven Weber. So there'd be, although Wings, Wings was the best sitcom. So what are your thoughts on this cast of characters and the actors chose to portray them?
I thought Allison Williams did a good job. I found she was interesting. I was interested in her character's backstory. But Logan Browning, she gets this whole second half of the movie is more focused on her, and I didn't really like her role. I didn't like her in the role. It didn't work for me. What did you think of both of them?
I think Allison Williams has a quality that I'm not quite happy with. And it's nothing personal. I just there's she rides a fine line between likable and kind of unlikable. And there seems to be a switch with her that just where things change. And I know that is, part of the plot too. But just her, she's very squared off. And Logan, Logan has to deal with an entire situation that is pretty, you know what it is? When they get on that bus and they decide to go on a little mini tour through the backwoods of China, and Lizzie starts losing her mind basically and hallucinate, whatever. That's when I just hated the dialogue. I hated what was happening. I hated being trapped on a bus. So her performance was, I thought Logan Browning's performance at those moments was kind of strong, because look what she's reacting to or what she thinks she's seeing.
I don't know if it was just me, but I thought I don't know if you noticed like the ADR in some of the scenes, it just like totally bothered me when they were talking outside in Shanghai. It was like, whoa, holy. Right. It kind of took me out of the film because it was so not in the moment. That kind of affected the viewing experience for me in those early scenes.
Right.
But
so you have them leaving the city of Shanghai. They get on this bus, and that's when things sort of start to unravel. There's already tension. They've already slept together. These people who you think you just don't know what's happening. They're going to be
rivals. Like you kind of think that. For me, I thought it was going to be like a Black Swan type of situation. The Natalie Portman film. With like rival people. And then the film kind of like pulls the rug out from under you once they get on that bus, and it becomes like a different movie. And they have this mechanic of like rewinding backwards to show you like twists.
What did you think about those? I just didn't.
I could have done without the like rewind sound. Maybe that would have made it less kind of funny.
After the bus scene, we flash forward 2 weeks, and now we're in Boston at the music academy, and she shows up at the academy without a hand.
Yeah.
So how she's going to play the cello is anyone's guess.
Yeah, because the movie kind of like, it starts off with that Black Swan feeling, and then I kind of felt it was going to go into like an outbreak, like virus movie, because there's like a person that gets sick, and then the main character gets sick, right? And I thought that's what it was going to be, and then it kind of turns into like a body horror movie for like a couple of like that one scene, and then the last third of the film is kind of like this revenge movie. So
right, but you don't even find out that it's revenge until you realize that they're in cahoots together. Yeah. And then there's just a whole bunch of amputation. I wanted to talk about the sort of lesbian aspect and the revenge aspect. Is it necessary that they had that whatever lesbian affair? Is it necessary that they needed to be gay in order to take revenge on this academy professor who had abused them for years and years?
I found it wasn't really developed enough. There wasn't enough put onto their relationship, because they meet each other and then they hook up like right away, and nothing is really paid for them to develop a relationship. I thought it was like too quick.
Right. Well, when you have bugs crawling out of your skin, you don't have any. Speaking of which, what did you have a favorite scene or a favorite part of the film that sort of made you happy to watch?
Yeah. So my favorite part was kind of like the opening, the first half of the movie, where the movie starts like a cold open right on her mother, like a close-up shot on her dead mother, and I was like, okay, this movie might have something, it might be good. And that stayed the case through the first half of the movie, where you think it's like kind of going to be a Black Swan movie. So that first third of the film, was my favorite section. What was yours?
I had no favorite sections. The most repulsive scene, though, was the hallucinate. Well, the bugs are coming out of her skin, out of her arm. She shows her arm, and you can see bugs, and then before you know it, an amputation is required. So that, to me, and even the vomit on the bus, where we see maggots in the vomit that just came out of her mouth, implying that there were. I was just ready to call you and say, let's review a different movie.
Yeah, because this was your choice, and I'm watching it, and we get to that scene. I'm like, what movie is this? Because I'm not. I think the only type of horror film I don't love to watch is kind of like body horror, gross out horror. It's like it's too much for me. That whole last section kind of comes out of nowhere. Yeah,
it left a weird taste in my mouth, and it's funny because it's about the world of sort of classical music, right? And then you have gore and blood and amputations and real hideous behavior.
Yeah,
in the
classical
music world.
It gets dark. It's a movie I think that thinks it's being really smart, but it's kind of like the lesser of those type of Me Too movies, the revenge. Like, it's not really smart, and it's not really over the top enough where it could be one of those like midnight movie, like I Spit on Your Grave type movie. It's neither.
And the close-ups of them playing, it's almost as if they didn't hire body doubles to do the music playing. Because they were either long shots or medium shots, but they were the actual actors. They weren't trying to, they were faking it, obviously, because you could see the way they were playing the frets or whatever that is.
That's what I thought the exact same thing, because I was watching it and I saw Allison Williams doing that, and I'm like, that doesn't look right to me.
It doesn't look right. Like, hire somebody to come in and just do finger movements so that we get the sense that they actually were, these amazing
because that's like a big focus of the movie, is that.
Well, so, will you recommend this, Dante?
I would say no. Even though it's free on Netflix, it's less than an hour, I would say no. There's nothing in there that works. Like, it's never a full-on body horror. It's never full-on, B-movie. It's not smart. I would say no. I'd say skip it. But if you want a movie that this movie kind of promises in the first half, watch Black Swan. That's a great movie. Watch Suspiria, Italian horror movie about a ballet, a dance studio. That's a good movie. And if you want a really good Me Too women getting revenge movie, watch Promising Young Woman. That movie came out when did that come out? That just came out, starring Carey Mulligan. Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm so excited.
But this you can skip. What would you recommend it?
I'd say skip it. I would too. If Allison Janney played the part of Charlotte, I'd say go see it. But there's something about this combination of people and and bugs coming out of the skin, and the claustrophobia of that bus drove me bananas. When she had to stop the bus. Yeah, I was ready to jump out my living room window. I swear to God.
That was the most uncomfortable, the worst scene. Like, I didn't want to watch it. I didn't want to stay on that bus any longer.
No. I agree with you about other options, more so in this review than a lot of our other reviews, because I just think there are better options. So that was our talk about the perfection, which is less than perfection. Thank you for watching At the Movies with Dante and Louis. I'm Louis Jacobs.
And I'm Dante DeLille.
And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye now.